What better way to start Girl Power Tuesday than with a young lady who's shaking up the world. Yashima Bartley is making moves within the engineering field, and she joins us now to talk us through. Good morning to you, Yashima.
Good morning, everyone.
How are you?
I'm fine. I'm doing great this morning.
So you're an engineer now?
Yes. Just
Wow.
graduated.
A young engineer, very clearly.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about why this field?
Why civil engineering?
Yes.
Well, I would say I began to fall in love with civil engineering after stumbling upon some drawings. That was my first me noticing the drawings. So I was like, okay, let me do some research on it. And I'm an art person, so of course I went into it, and then I realized that civil engineering not only focuses on designing and problem solving, which also fuels my passion. So I went into university and pursued my degree in civil engineering.
You say engineering is bringing artistic creations to life. Was this
Yes.
something like, even as you remember yourself growing up in primary or prep school, had you always kind of had that penchant to like scribble and jiggle and problem solve and all the things that you speak of that are related to the field?
Yes, I was always a person that is drawing, always drawing. So when I found out that civil engineering gives you the space to actually, grow in that way, and of course in structural work, then I decided that yes, this is the perfect fit for me.
So
And problem solving as well, yes.
for the folks who don't really understand what a civil engineer does, talk us through that.
Okay, so a civil engineer is basically someone that makes the general public life easier. So with that being said, we focus on designing and executing structural works such as bridges, highways, dams, all those high-rise buildings you see. All of that is all the works of a civil engineer.
It's a big job.
And of course, water treatment systems and so on.
So how long have you been doing the actual work now? You've left school. UTech is where you went, right?
Yes, I went to UTech.
And how was that course of study for you?
Well, the course of study was really good. It has both practical and theory in the course. So, of course, I get to exercise my passion for it as well as learn theoretically the background of it. So I'm just now graduating and being in the field and applying what I've learned.
Right, which is my next question now. What is it like being in the field? You've gotten all the theory, you say you did some practical, but there's nothing like actually hitting the ground and actually doing the work. So we saw a picture of you in the hard hat on the site. Yes. Tell me what does that feel like now, just being a newly minted engineer and just being out there doing the real thing?
Yes, being in the field now is the most interesting part of it, because, in university, you'd be doing the theoretical part and you'd be like, oh my gosh, like, when am I going to actually be out in the field, when I would actually get some experience? So when you get out in the field, that is where you're like mind blown, like, okay, this is where I apply what I've been learned, and then you get to learn more stuff from persons on the ground and more. So it's very interesting.
Is it more interesting as a woman in the field, you think? And as a very young woman in the field as well. Do you have many counterparts, or is there, when you get onto the site, you don't get like ribbing from the men and so on about being in the field, do you?
Yes, of course, that you cannot stop that part from happening, but you as a female entering, of course, okay, I did my research, so I know that civil engineering is a male-dominated area. So with that being said, I ensured that I had the support from family members and also persons in the field to back me and, be there for me. And so I wouldn't shy away from it, especially because there's a misconception that engineering is all about math. It is in a sense, but it is not in a way that you would find it, I would say, you can't maneuver it. So yes, females being in engineering, you do get that part where they want to stay in the office because oh, you're not supposed to be out in the field. You're supposed to be in the office doing some paperwork or so on. So yes, I go out and know that, okay, my goal is to own my own construction firm and all of that. So I
yes,
know
girl.
that, yes, and I want to be as well-rounded as possible.
Fantastic.
And civil engineering is a broad field because you have transportation engineers, you have environmental engineering, civil and, structural and construction engineers. So yes, being well-rounded will also prove that, yes, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I was going to ask you where you're taking this, but you just told us you want to open your own construction company. That's great.
Yes, we want it to be a one-stop shop where we have everything. So you want to build some, you want to say construct a plaza. If you want to construct a plaza, then we would have everything from electricians, plumbers, going straight into civil engineers, geotechnical engineers, and all of that.
All right, we see it. You're also a sporting persona. You also have a sporting persona. You played football and you participated in track in school. Are you still doing drawings on sneakers as a business venture?
Yes, I still do it, but for now it's on a break because I'm trying to focus more on my field.
Correct, correct. Fantastic. What do you have to say, Yashima, to young ladies who may be watching this who aspire to be in your field but probably thought, it's not for me because I'm a girl. I won't be able to do it well. I'll have to sit behind the desk. You know, somebody who wants to, you know, dream big and go out in the field and do what you're doing. What's your advice to them?
My advice to them is go for it, because when I was growing up, there was much emphasis on engineering. So it was mostly to do either medicine or going to law or something. So I had to literally go there and see what was my passion, because I didn't have a love for any of those, but so I was different. So I was like, okay, what can I do? What field would I have to go into to exercise my craft and so on? And then I'm encouraged also persons like from different clubs and societies to go in and target the high school students, because yes, that is where you can pull students to actually educate them about it and to clear up some of the misconceptions of engineering. So you will get more persons on board by doing that, and also providing them with more scholarships, because not more scholarships are out there for engineers.
Right.
On a whole.
Okay, got it. Loud and clear. Thank you very much, Yashima, for stopping in with us this morning. All the best to you. We're proud of you. Keep doing what you're doing, and we hope you'll come back and tell us when the business is being started, okay? Yashima Bartley, civil engineer, with us this morning in celebration of our Girl Power Tuesday. Here are some other Jamaican female engineers making major moves. They're currently with NWC doing their internship. Danielle Wint, who's an industrial engineer. Justina Gale, who's a civil engineer. Janelle Crawford, also a civil engineer. And then, well, Wynn is not a girl, I don't think, but also a civil engineer. And Jashawn Bourne, electrical and computer engineering. So big ups to all of you. Coming up, it is our Girl Power Fun Fact Trivia. We'll be right back.
So this morning we highlight a few extraordinary women who excelled within the field of science and technology. So our goal is to match the invention with the individual.
Okay.
So we start with British chemist, Rosalind Franklin, born in 1920 in Notting Hill, and in 1942 she brought her physics and chemistry expertise to London Coal, where she investigated the properties of carbon. She's also responsible for discovering a 3-letter word scientists use to detect organisms. Mega said DNA, might be wrong, but Mega said DNA.
Deoxyribonucleic acid. All right. Atom? Acid? Atom?
Yeah.
Atom?
Yeah.
All right. Good guess.
Yes.
Next one. Katherine Johnson, the African American, did what for NASA? She used her brain, really?
I think it's C.
I think it's D. Then she had to use her brain to do that, you know. Yes.
Yeah.
Is that the lady that they made the movie of?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Dr. Paula Tennant is the first person from the island of Jamaica that to
C.
But it have to be C because to natural medicine don't give you 2 answers. To liquid chemicals to fight plant disease that makes sense. To create a papaya that is resistant to the papaya ring spot virus.
Oh my God.
To develop a Mega said D.
C and D. C and D. We just did that in our iron science test 3 weeks ago. That's the hunger reason.
The sentence, them help you to
Yes, they do. Cicely Williams, specializing in
E.
B and E.
E. The sentence gave it away. Jane Goodall, from an early age, loved to be around wildfire. She's the first woman.
Wildlife. What do you mean wildlife? Oh,
wildlife.
Hey.
Sorry.
Hey. I love it. And she do this chimpanzee then, man. A Goodall, she name? Why do you think it was Goodall? As in Catherine Goodall.
I think, what you said, Sim? C?
I think it's A or
Sammy
C.
said D.
Yeah, man, there's a movie about her too, no? Or a documentary?
I hope the chimpanzees understood her as well. That's very important in communication.
Two-way, right?
Can't wait. You see me and Simone bossed up the thing a while ago. Lisa,
Yeah.
you know, so we boss it up.
It's the power of a girl power Tuesday.
And a child who is taking exam.
And a child who is doing 7th grade exams. Thank you, Erin. The perks of being an involved parent. Coming up next, we're discussing the threat to Jamaica's wetlands. Not a laughing